What's going on, JT? How's it going, brother?
Good man, been running and gunning. You know how it is.
Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. Already getting busy on this week.
Oh yeah, me and Aldo are tough. Definitely catch you up.
You said what?
And me and Aldo have been cooking up some stuff.
Oh yeah, Aldo's my guy.
Yeah, I'm putting them in all the certs.
Okay, cool. He's helping you. You helping him out with the certs.
Yeah, yeah. Or I'll give you a call. We'll cook something up later this week. Know what's going down.
Cool, cool. Appreciate you joining, brother. We're gonna wait another 5 minutes. I like to let people get in here. Then I'll kick it off. John, how's it going, brother?
Going good. I'm excited for this, man. Already got my notepad ready. I just lost my pen. There it's at. I'm good to go now.
Cool, cool. Thank you for joining in, man. We're gonna get started in another 5 minutes. Just let a few more people get in.
Let's rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
Woo.
Ed, how's it going? Ed Jones, what's going on, brother?
Man, you know we stay super fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. All the time, man. Love the energy.
Yes, indeed, man. Nobody's shooting at us. Nobody trying to blow us up, man. So it's a good day, man.
What?
That's
Not,
a
not over here, they not. Not over here, they not. Okay, man, we got a packed house tonight. Got a few note takers in here. I can't see everybody's face, but I appreciate everybody joining tonight. I know we got busy schedules. I'm gonna kick it off in another, what time is it? 6:00. It's only 6:02. Yeah, let's give them about 6:05. Let everybody get in here, and then we're gonna get it going. Mic check, mic check. Okay.
Y'all got AI note takers? I'm over here like a caveman with a paper and pen, bro.
Dog, it's what? It's man. I don't even know if Melvin is here, but his note taker's here. We got some person, I can't even read that language, but their note taker is there. Man, we got an iPhone guest. I don't know who that is, but they might be using pen and pad just like you. So,
All
yeah,
right,
man, the AI is on another level, brother. It's on another
dude.
level. Okay, we're gonna give everybody one more minute, then we're gonna get going. Hey, Zoom user, I don't know your name, but thank you for joining. Can you hear me? All right, good. Thank you for being here. We're gonna give everybody another minute or so so people can get on, and then I'm gonna kick it off. Hope y'all ready to learn how to make the 6 figures with your benefits. It's a lot of people on here. Some of you guys are here for disability rated increase information. Some of you guys are on here for real estate VA loan information. Some of you guys and ladies are on here just to learn about your VA benefits as far as education. I'm going to hit all three of these points today. So get your notes out if you got time. Um, Also, I'll be sending a replay of this after this. So if you don't take notes, you'll get a replay as well. And it'll also be on my YouTube. But yeah, not gonna prolong it anymore. going to go ahead and get started. Can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up. Participants can now. All right, cool. Thumbs up. I saw a few of them. All right, well, Serve to Sold is my brand, LLC, my LLC. Serve to Sold stands for Service Opportunity Leadership and Development. I started this because I wanted to be able to serve the people that served our country, right? I believe that you serve, you have the opportunity to utilize your leadership skills to develop yourselves in a way so that you can live the financial freedom and American dream we all fought for, right? So how can you build wealth in real estate utilizing your VA benefits, right? I'm going to go over education and I'm going over your disability rating and how to maximize the VA loan, right? My slogan is education, innovate, and elevate veterans in real estate. Let's get going. So what is Serve to Soul, right? We're dedicated to helping veterans and military personnel create financial freedom through real estate. We specialize in teaching veterans and military personnel how to leverage their hard-earned VA benefits to purchase property, build wealth, and thrive not only in real estate, but also in the classroom as well as in your family. Why are you here? Typically, you're here for one of the four reasons. You want to purchase cash flowing rental properties. You want to add another source of income with little to no out of pocket expenses using some form of your benefits. You're seeing everyone else do it and you want in, or you want to maximize all of your VA benefits. You're in here because of one of these four reasons, guaranteed. Now, here's one of your challenges that you have faced is one of the three, right? And you might not have any challenges at all, but I think I'm gonna hit at least one of three of these is gonna be your challenge, one of four of these. One, possibly you don't know how to fund your deals using the VA loan, other people's money, or other investor loans such as the DSCR. Two, you don't know how to find good deals, right? Some of us don't understand how to find investment properties that's going to make sense for our pockets. You don't know what strategy to use to cash flow your properties, right? When you're investing in real estate, it's all about how you enter in a deal and how you exit. Today, I'm going to show you how to enter for free, and I'm going to show you how to exit in a way that maximizes your pockets, right? You're going to be able to make cash flow in your sleep, right? A lot of people get into real estate and they don't understand exit strategies. They buy real estate because everybody else is doing it, thinking that they're going to make $1 million because the quote unquote Instagram zoo gurus are telling you, hey, man, you could make $1 million in real estate. Well, if you don't have an exit strategy, you're not going to know how to do it. And I'm going to show you that today, right? Four, you're not aware of all your benefits, right? So today I'm going over a majority of your benefits that most veterans never used before, right? Veteran journey. So typically, this is the journey of a veteran. And I also served in the Navy. So this is some of the journeys that some of my colleagues, veteran buddies I know, but these are also statistics taken across America, right? Just for you guys to have some insight on what's going on in the veteran community. Over 33,000 veterans are homeless on any given night in America. Veterans are 40% more likely to declare bankruptcy than civilians. Nearly one out of every four veterans have less than $400 saved for an emergency. An estimated 17 veterans die by suicide every day. They're killing off each other because of depression, not being able to survive in today's economy, and so many other reasons. More than 1 million veterans don't use the benefits they've earned because they don't understand them. 87% of veterans have never utilized the VA loan. The reason why is because you guys just, not you guys, but some veterans just don't understand them, right? Nearly 60% of veterans say they live paycheck to paycheck, within the first 3 years after leaving the military. That was me. I was living paycheck to paycheck as soon as I got out. Now, why not use your VA benefits? Veterans are the only group that feels guilty for using what we've earned. A lot of veterans believe that if they didn't fight in war, they didn't end up with a limb missing, or if they just ended up with a computer job, they don't feel like they deserve the disability increase that you actually deserve. And I'm not saying that's any of you guys, but this is why a lot of veterans aren't rated at 100% or aren't at a percentage at all, right? Meanwhile, people who never served use every program available to them. You got people using Section 8, you got people using, all types of different government programs that, they never fought for. But us as vets, we put our life on the line for these benefits, but yet we fail to take advantage of them. And majority of the reason is because we were never taught how to. In the military, they teach us how to fight, but they don't teach us how to strategize wealth. Right? Today, I'm gonna show you that. Too many veterans end up homeless, struggling, or in debt because they don't use their benefits. The real question isn't what are my benefits, it's why am I not using them? And why am I not using them strategically is what I want you to think about throughout this webinar. Understanding your benefits is the first step to financial freedom and the American dream you all fought for. As I said before, our mission is to educate, innovate, and elevate veterans in real estate, empowering them to create lasting wealth through income-producing real estate assets. From securing VA loans and finding the right property to exploring rental income, fix and flip opportunities, and more. We guide veterans through every step of the process. We also help veterans increase their disability rating and unlocking additional benefits like credit repair, et cetera, et cetera. Now, today's agenda is simple. I'm going to build your confidence. I'm going to create clarity for you on your benefits. You're going to uncover the hidden power of your military benefits. I promise you that. I'm going to show you a proven blueprint that I've utilized in my own life and my other veteran clients' lives. I'm going to create a profitable rental portfolio for you. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then last but not least, you're going to understand your disability benefits to the T, right? And if you have any other questions when it comes to your benefits, I'll give you a chance to ask them at the end as well. Now, here's a little bit about me, right? I'm a 5-year veteran. I served in the Navy. I did 2 deployments to United Emirates, and I also was stationed in Japan for 2 years. I'm a military relocation specialist. I had to go through a class, I had to take tests. It's pretty simple because I was in the service. But just so you guys know, I am certified to teach veterans on how to relocate, as well as I'm a licensed realtor. So I understand real estate. I'm also an investor myself. I currently own 5 homes. 2 are two bed, 2 bath, 2 are multifamily, and then 1 is a single family home. Currently, I'm working on multiple multifamily deals across America. That's me. Here's my background. I served in the Navy. So as you see, I was in dress blues. I also went with Marine side, so that's why I had to wear green. But just to show proof that I served just like you all here today. I have a baby girl, and that's the reason why I got out of the service early. I only served 5 because I wanted to be in my daughter's life. I deployed a lot, and I grew up in an unstable home. So when I got the news that I was having a daughter, I decided to get out the military abruptly. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to raise my daughter. So when I got out, I struggled for a lot of years. I mean, I tried multiple different jobs just so I can pay the bills, right? I was cutting hair. I was selling roof insurance, and I even tried to dibble and dab in music as well. I'm scared of heights, y'all. So for me to get on this roof, it was some times that I had to do what I had to do, right? But in all, I couldn't escape the 9 to 5 rat race. No matter how hard I worked, I knew that I wouldn't be able to make a true wealth while working my 9 to 5. So I had an emotional transformation, right? I went through some depressing times in my life. My early 20s, you guys would have met me then. You wouldn't, it'd have been like night and day. It was times I would smoke before I ate. I would smoke in the morning. I would smoke at night. I just felt like nobody truly understand what I was going through. And I just had it real rough in my early 20s. A lot of veterans that I meet today have some of the similar issues or went through some of the similar issues as they transitioned out. Like I said before, I got out and I didn't have a plan. But what I did do is I was able to fix my credit, get my real estate license, and buy my first property. Once I did that, I realized that I found a secret hack in society. And I had access to it from the day I got out of the military. I just didn't know I had access to it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't as well. The VA loan is one of the best loans known to man. So when I finally bought my first house, I said, well, I wonder if I can do it again, which led me to getting my license and buying multiple investment properties. And now, as you see here, I'm well into my 30s. I have multiple real estate properties. And here's my family. As you can see, that little girl is grown now. She 11 years old, y'all. But I just wanted to share my story so that you know that I'm not one of these internet gurus that just want to get you on here and try to charge you a whole bunch of money. This whole thing is free. And by the end of this, you should know enough to go do it yourself. And if you want help, I'll give you the opportunity to work with me as well. Today's training, like I said, I'm going to teach you how to buy real estate property. I'm going to show you how to utilize and maximize your benefits. If you stay to the end, there is a free gift. All you got to do is stay to the end. Today, I just need you to focus. I just need you to give me a good 30 to 40 solid minutes. I promise you, I won't waste any of your time. Last but not least, just keep an open mind. I know a few of us on here may have never invested before. So a lot of these terms and ideas that I throw at you might be a little different, but just keep an open mind. Investing as a veteran. Here's some of the reasons why investing as a veteran is incredibly lucrative for you and is a cheat code in society. Very first and foremost, when you buy utilizing the VA loan, you buy with 0% down. That's no money out of your pocket. And you can get your closing costs paid for. So you're able to buy a property with no closing costs and no money down with the VA loan. Your VA disability is also a powerful buying tool. Once you're rated at 100%, you're making roughly 43 to 4,500 a month, 38 to 4,500 a month, depending on dependency. That money can be utilized to your income verification when you're qualifying for the VA loan. So you don't even have to have a job to purchase a property if you're rated, right? Here's some more investment benefits because you're probably wondering, well, why should I invest in real estate? There's so many other ways to invest. Well, for one, it's cash flow. Cash flow is king. I don't care how much stocks you buy. I don't care how many bets you put in. Cash flow is king. Making money while you're in your sleep is how the millionaires keep Get rich and stay rich. Rental income pays your month-to-month bills, and it allows you to save for vacations, etc. Appreciation and equity growth, right? Real estate tends to increase in value over time, meaning your net worth grows even while you live in the property. Name something else that you can live in, grow value, and make money off of all at one time. And I'm going to show you how to buy properties where you allow tenants to stay in the other units so they're paying for your mortgage. So essentially, you're living rent free. There's also tax advantages, and a lot of people fail to mention these. When you start investing in real estate, there's a lot of tax advantages. Me personally, these last taxes we filed, we were able to get $7,000 returned back to my pockets from my tax refund, right? Because we were able to prove the right expenses through my real estate business. Not only is that, you get write-offs, depreciation, and you can also use the 1031 exchange. Basically, when you sell a property, you can buy another property and you don't have to pay taxes on the profits. Now, investment benefits, right? This is how you get out of the 9 to 5 rat race, but this is the comparison of being a 9 to 5 career and investing in real estate. In a 9 to 5, you're trading time for money. If you don't clock in, you don't make any money. Real estate is cash flow, it's passive. You don't have to clock in. 9 to 5, you got to work 40 to 60 hours weekly until you retire. In real estate, you can retire whenever you feel like it, or whenever your money or cash flow creates the stability for you to retire. In a 9 to 5, there's slow raises. You're capped, right? In real estate, you got equity appreciation and scalable wealth. You can scale the model that I teach you today, meaning you can do this over and over again. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. In the 9 to 5, your W-2 tax is a burden. A lot of people that work 9 to 5s, I make more than them, but I get my money back because I have deductions and write-offs. This is how people like Trump and all those big wigs keep money in their pockets, because they understand the law. And of course, you got potential to retire early. Now just imagine, I'm pretty sure none of you are working 9 to 5, but you could trade 40 years of your life for a retirement check, or you can build your assets now and get paid forever. Not only you, but your family. Now, the VA loan compared to the civilian loan. I want to bring home why the VA loan is so much more better than the civilian loan, so that you will be more prone to utilize the VA loan sooner if you haven't already. Once again, the VA loan is 0% down. Civilians have to pay anywhere from 3.5 to 20% purchase price of the purchase price. With the VA loan, as long as you're 10% or more disabled, you have no private mortgage insurance. The interest rates are very competitive compared to the civilian sector, right? Your credit score, there is no credit score requirement for the VA loan. Typically, for a civilian loan, you have to have at least a 680 or 600 and above. Let's just say that. For a VA loan, there's no upfront costs. Civilian sector, they have an upfront cost. They're going to have closing costs and down payments. The VA loan, the monthly payment will be cheaper because there's no PMI. You have the ability to build equity immediately. versus it being delayed because you have higher monthly payments. And of course, the VA loan, you're only eligible if you served. Now, what do I do and how do I make six figures yearly? I buy property with little to no money out of pocket. I rent and house hack these properties unit by unit. And then I hold on to my properties as they appreciate and allow me to pass it on to my family members, as well as build my own banks out of my properties. So I can borrow against my properties to invest into other properties. Now, here is the house hacking blueprint. If you can understand this, then you're going to leave this webinar with more information than 80% of veterans. With the VA loan, you can house hack like no other. Now, the VA loan, you're allowed to buy a property every year. All you have to do is buy one property, stay in it for a year, move out, and buy another property. A lot of people think that the VA loan is a primary loan. It is. But a lot of people think you can only buy it, you can only use it one time. That's false. You can use the VA loan as many times as you want. So why not use it strategically? Here's the rules. When you're using a VA loan, it has to be a primary resident, meaning you have to plan on occupying that property. So in this model, if you buy your first home, I always suggest buy a multi-unit, but even if you buy a single family, you buy your first home, 0% down, no money out of pocket. You stay in this property for 1 year. And then you move out of that property. But when you move out, you rent that property out. So now you're creating cash flow as you move out of that property. You move out and you purchase another property. You live in that property, and now you have your first investment property. You stay in the second property for a year. You move out of that property and buy another property, and you rent out the property that you moved out of. And now you have two properties in the amount of 3 years, and you paid no money out of pocket. Now, let's just say your first property is a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. You stay in that one unit, and let's just say it's a fourplex. You stay in one unit and you rent out the other 3 units. As long as you buy a fourplex in the proper market, those other units will be able to pay the full mortgage for the entire fourplex, which means you're going to be living rent-free and you're going to immediately have cash flow because you bought a fourplex, which allowed you to rent out unit by unit by unit. And you can do the same thing with a fourplex that you can do with a single family. You can stay in a single family and rent out room by room by room. It's called co-living, and I'll show you that later. But let's just say, like I said, with the fourplex, you buy it, you rent out all 3 of the units, you're living in there rent-free, and you're making $500 extra a month from the rent paid to you. $500 to $1,000, depending on your market. And you could make more depending on the area. You stay in that unit for a year, you move out, you buy another fourplex. Yes, you can do that. You can buy another fourplex. So now, with another fourplex, you're looking at 8 doors, 8 units in the course of 2 years. Not many people can do that as investors, especially first-time investors, with no money out of pocket, no closing costs. You stay in that other fourplex, one of the units, you rent out the other 3 units, and then you buy another fourplex. Right? Now you have 12 doors in the course of 3 to 4 years. Now let's just say you house hacking those units. One unit can fit 2 beds, 2 baths. With 4 units, 2 beds, 2 baths in each unit, you're looking at 8 doors. out of 4 units. So you bought three fourplexes in a matter of 3 to 4 years, 8 doors each. What's that? 27 doors in 3 to 4 years. Now you're in the game, right? And I know you're probably thinking, well, how am I going to put tenants in these properties? How am I going to make sure they stay occupied? I got a treat for you at the end. I'll show you how to do that as well. Now, this is how you're going to make 6 figures yearly. As you can see here, if you're at 100% pyramid in total, you're making anywhere from 3,800 to 4,500 tax free, right? Now, let's just say you decide to go to school utilizing your GI Bill or your Veterans Readiness and Employment, aka VRNE. VRNE is where you can go to school and they'll pay you BAH for you to go to school to learn a skill that doesn't affect your disability. So let's just say you're going to make anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 a month in BAH. Uh, I just saw a message come through. Hold on. I can't see the messages, but I'll check them out after this. But basically, let's just say you're using your GI Bill or your Voc Rehab, and you're making anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000. Right now in Arizona, if you go to Arizona State, then you're going to make roughly 2,500, right? So let's just say you're going to make 3,000 with the BAH. Your disability, you're going to make 4,500. That's 7,500 a month, tax free for 4,500 of it, because your disability is tax free. But you're also going to make 3,000 from, well, anywhere from 2 to 4,000 for BAH. In Cali, you can make 5,000, right? So it just depends on your location. Now you're at roughly 90,000 a year with just the education and your disability. Now let's just say you decide to invest in real estate. And now I have an opportunity that I'm working on in Houston where you're going into the property and you're going to make anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 monthly in rent. Now that's in Houston, but there's other opportunities like this in your area, depending on where you're at. But let's just say you're making 2 to 6,000 extra from the rent if you bought a fourplex. You're looking at 4,500 disability, 3,000 BAH, rental income is 2,200. That's 9,700 a month. That's well over 6 figures yearly, right? And let's just say, okay, you don't think you can make 2,000 a month from your rent, which I know you can with the fourplex, but let's just say you don't think you can. Even just the education and disability, and you're breaking even with your rental property, you're just under 100K yearly, which is a good deal for me because this is not something that you're just going to do one and done. Within a year and a half, you're going to be buying another rental property, and that will for sure push you over the 6 figure mark. So I'm going to stop here and see if anybody had any questions because this is the model on how you can make 6 figures yearly. Let me see. Let's look at the chat. Okay, then all right, we're gonna keep going. Okay, cool. So here's the model, right? This is what you need to do. You need to use your VA loan to buy a home, 0% down, little to no closing costs, no PMI, etc. I suggest you get a 4 unit or at least a duplex. And even if you're in a single family home, you can rent room by room, which I'm going to show you that model as well. So you buy your first home, you rent it out, you house hack, whether it's room by room or unit by unit, You're cash flowing anywhere from 1,200 and up. And then you leverage and you scale. So you stay in that property for a year, you move out of that property, purchase another property with the VA loan 0% down, and then you do it, you scale it, and you do it over and over again year after year. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's truth. The government is literally giving you money. You serve, so you deserve. That's my motto. Once again, with the VA loan at 0% down, no PMI, no minimum credit score, no debt to income ratio, and all you had to do was serve at least 90 days active and got out honorably. The VA loan eligibility requirements, like I said, served honorably. If you did National Guard or reserves, you have to do at least 6 years. And a lot of people don't know this, but surviving spouses also can qualify for the VA loan. What 99% of military members don't know, you can buy multifamily properties with the VA loan. Like I said before, you can buy up to 4 units, meaning you can buy a fourplex with the VA loan. You can also rehab a property. So a lot of you might hear about fix and flip or renovating a house that you have currently. The VA loan will allow you to renovate a property and purchase it all in one loan, right? You also can do a VA construction loan. So you can buy the land and build the property on that land, 0% down and no closing costs. Now, let's just say you want to build your own fourplex. You can do that. Let's just say you want to build your own single family home. You can do that. Or let's say you want to build more than a fourplex. You actually combine you can combine your entitlement with another vet and build up to 6 units. Someone asked me that the other day. That is possible. Now, here's more information a lot of veterans don't know. There is a no funding fee if you're at least 10% or more disabled, right? No funding fee counts for at least 1 to 3% of the purchase price. So you're looking at no funding fee, no PMI, no closing costs, no down payment. Another thing a lot of vets don't know is that, and a lot of lenders don't know this either, is that if you don't have a current VA loan active, there is no loan limit when it's time for you to use that VA loan. So if you currently don't have a house with your VA loan connected to it, you can qualify for a $2 million property, 0% down, no closing costs, as long as your income can prove that you can make the payments. Let's just say you want to buy a fourplex, $2 million fourplex. You can use the projected rental income of the other 3 units to qualify for the loan. So you don't even have to have all the income to qualify. They will use the projected rental income of the other units. So if you have a fourplex that you're looking to buy, and let's just say is 2 mil, they're going to do the rental analysis of the area and say, okay, the average rental cost for a 2-bed, 2-bath is $2,000 a month. Well, you got 3 units, 2-bed, 2-bath. So they'll say 3 times 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, or 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. That's $6,000 monthly of income that they'll use to go towards the debt to income ratio when you're qualifying for that $2 million property. A lot of vets don't know is you can buy multiple properties with the VA loan. So let's just say you buy your first property, it was only $300,000. And you got a great interest rate on it. So you don't want to refi or you don't want to sell that property so you can re-up on your entitlement and use the VA loan again. You can keep that property and buy another property as long as you stay within your entitlement. So I want to stop real quick and explain entitlement. Entitlement is the max amount of money you can use to purchase a property. That entitlement is going to be based on the confirming loan limit of your area. So when I said you had to move out, you can stay in a property right here. When you stay in this property, move out, buy another property. In order for you to buy another property with the VA loan, if you maxed out on your entitlement, you would have to refinance or sell that property. I always tell my vets to keep your properties, just refinance into another loan. Then you free up your entitlement so you can go buy that second property. That is the only caveat of the VA loan, right? You have to either refinance or sell the property so that you can use your entitlement again. So, like I said before, your entitlement is the max amount of money you can use to purchase a property. So, if you maxed out your entitlement on that first house, now you can't buy another property until you free up your entitlement again. And the way that you do that is refinancing or selling. But why sell if that property is appreciating and building equity? It's better to just refinance and purchase another property. Your rent will go up. Your mortgage will go up because you're refinancing into a higher interest rate. But that's a risk you could take, which is not even a risk. That's a hit you can take because the property that you're buying next is going to cash flow enough to compensate for the amount of money that you're spending extra for your mortgage. Even the first property is going to compensate for the extra increase in mortgage because you're buying a fourplex. You're already making 500 monthly to go up $100 a month. That's a no-brainer if you can buy another fourplex or duplex, triplex, or even single family. If you buy right, you make all your money on the buy. If you know your market and you buy right, you're never going to lose in this market. You're never going to lose with this strategy. Another thing that 99% of veterans don't know is to be aware of loan officers. A lot of lenders do not understand the VA loan to the full capacity of it. They only think you can, of course, it's a primary loan. So they're saying, oh, you can't buy a fourplex because it's only for a primary. They don't understand the VA loan. They're not vets. They don't get it. You can buy a fourplex. If they say you can't, you call me and I'll let them know what they need to know. It's proof. It's not just me saying it. You can look it up yourself. If you Google VA pamphlet 26-7, this is the guidelines that the lenders have to use when utilizing the VA loan. Now, you want to work with small to medium loan officers. Those big guys, they take more money off the top, right? You want to work with loan officers that know what they're doing, but also not trying to take all your money. They're going to be able to negotiate better rates, more flexible, and you have to work with a broker. Absolutely have to work with a broker. And all brokers aren't the big guys. You have brokers that are still in it for the people, I would say. You shouldn't be charged points or fees when you utilize a VA loan. And last but not least, always talk to at least 3 lenders, right? Get multiple opinions on the VA loan. Now, here's proof that this strategy works. This proof that I'm not just blowing smoke. And I did this with a single family home. I didn't even buy a fourplex, my first property, because I didn't understand I could buy a multi-family home. I just didn't know. That's why I'm teaching veterans now, because I wish somebody would have told me. But I bought my first home in 2021. it was at 350,000 bucks. My mortgage was 1,500 because I had a great interest rate. I was able to rent out each room for 800 a piece, which brought me to roughly 3,200 a month. And you can do this day one that you move in. You don't have to stay in the property for a year before you rent out the rooms. You can move in and start renting out those extra rooms immediately. So I profited average 1,700 a month with the extra rooms, right? On a good day or a good month, I was making 6,800 a month, as you can see here on Airbnb, right? And then also in 2024, I bought another single family home, right? Between that time span, I bought some multi-family homes, but in 2024, I bought another single family home because my wife was ready to move and she didn't want to stay in a multi-family, so we bought another single family home. But I still rented out those other rooms, which allowed me to make 800 each, right? So I was profiting 500 a month average with that other single family home that I purchased. I believe success leaves receipts. So as you see here, this is booking.com receipt. Back in 2024, I was able to make 18,090 nights. This is just proof that even with a single family home, you can make some pretty good money. Now, once again, I've already showed you this screen, but I wanted you to bring it right back home. I promise you guys, I'm going to teach you how to make six figures with your VA benefits. And this is how you do it. You get 100% permanent in total. You use your GI Bill and or your VRNE, and then you get an investment property. And now you're making six figures yearly without a job. You do not have to have a job to do this. You can qualify for the VA loan with just your VA disabilities income. Now, a lot of people wonder, well, how am I going to get my closing costs paid for? What do you mean you can get 0% down and no closing costs? They have this thing called seller concessions. Seller concessions is when you ask the seller to help you pay for closing costs. And with the VA loan, you can use up to 4% for closing costs and another 4% for other expenses that you have, such as credit, like if you got bad debt and you want to pay some debt off, you can use another 4% of concessions to go towards debt. I just had a client get $10,000 in seller concessions, no closing costs because that covered the closing costs, and they were able to pay off two credit cards, and they got money back for purchasing the home. So they got paid to purchase a home, paid off some debt, and they didn't have closing costs. All because we maximize seller concessions. Here's a list of seller concessions and what they can cover. Closing costs, prepaid taxes, insurance, VA funding fee, paying off collections, credit cards, or other personal debt, buying home warranty, paying for temporary interest rate downs, etc., etc., etc. How to negotiate seller concessions. I could go over this slide, but basically you need to have a good lender, a good realtor that knows how to negotiate seller concessions, right? The longer you hold on to your property, the higher your property value will grow. I'm a buy and hold guy. I'm not a fix and flipper. I want to buy my property and hold on for appreciation so I can use that equity to buy other properties so that all the money can stay in my family and build legacy. The more revenue you're going to make, it's just simple. Your equity is growing not from your own pocket, but from your tenants. At, at the very least, you're not even making the payments. So why not hold on to it? Like I said before, I always suggest to buy a multi-unit property, right? Here's an example of buying a multi-unit. Let's say the purchase price is 650,000. Your monthly pity, principal, taxes, and interest is 3,800. You're able to rent each unit out for 1,400 bucks. You're making 4,200 bucks from 3 units. Your mortgage is 3,800, right? So you're making 400 a month and you're living there rent free because you got to occupy one of the units. So you're living there rent free and you're making 400 extra a month. You stay in there for a year, you move out, you refinance, your monthly is going to go up, but you're making money, so it won't hurt you. And then you go buy another 4 unit. Within 3 to 5 years, you'll have way over 6 figures yearly, plenty of properties, and you'll be a mature investor at that point. Here's what I did. Here's my first property. The property I purchased, like I said, was 350. It's now estimated at 400K plus. I can use that equity to go purchase other properties, do whatever I want with it. Yearly, I'm making 60K rental income yearly from this property. I no longer stay in it because of the way I bought it and I moved out and purchased another one. Now I'm just making money off of it. And I didn't put any money into it. I bought it 0% down, no closing costs, no PMI, no funding fee. There's not many things you can invest with where you spend no money and you make a ton of it. Here's the co-living model. As you can see here, I was able to rent room by room by room. Renting room by room by room is only beneficial if you have a single family home. If you have a duplex, fourplex, it's still beneficial, but it's already tight quarters. So I always suggest, renting out unit by unit. But if you're able to pull it off and rent room by room in those other units as well, then hey, do that because you're just going to make more money. Why is co-living powerful? Why is renting room by room powerful? Let's just be honest. A lot of people can't afford to rent out their own apartments. They just can't. They would rather room with someone so that they can make the payments. 14 million renters make less than 35,000 yearly income. Only 1% of investors know about this, so it's less competition. A lot of investors don't do co-living model. So they're not buying so that they can turn their property into a co-living model, right? They're just buying so they can put one family in it. 1 out of every 4 millennials live with roommates. If you buy property near ASU, I promise you, you'll be able to rent room by room and you're going to stay occupied. If you buy a co-living property near a base, a school, an amusement park, something like of that sort, you're never going to go without being booked and overoccupied. The more occupied you are, the more money you make. Money is never an issue. You can always buy properties because once you learn this model, you're going to want to buy more. You're not going to want to wait a year to buy another property. You're going to want to buy some more properties immediately because you're going to be making so much money. But that's never an issue. You can use other loans like DSCR, hard money, private investors, business funding. Business funding is so vital to my business. But to get yourself in the door, you can use the VA loan to start investing. Like I said, business funding is something that I use often. I believe success leaves receipts. So here's proof that I've used business funding before to get credit to go towards other properties. Chase will give you a lot of money. I got credit at 75,000. That's way more than enough for a down payment on a fourplex. Like I said before, you can use 75% of the projected rental income to go towards your debt to income ratio. So if you was looking to buy this fourplex, that 1,400 you're making per unit at 4,200, they're going to use that income to go towards qualifying for this property. So before you even buy it, they're going to do the math on how much you would make to rent out these other units, and they're going to add that to your debt to income ratio when you're qualifying for the loan. You don't even got to buy it. They still going to make it seem they're going to still use it for you to purchase it. Now, your buy box is your key. Your buy box is what investors use to purchase property. So some of you may not have invested before. So, like I said, keep an open mind on this section. This section is only to teach you a little bit into what it takes to become an investor. And this is one of the most simplest but most important things that you need to do as an investor is know your buy box. Your buy box is basically your grocery list of what you want the property to consist of. So if you send me to the store with a list, I'm going to come home with exactly on that list. If you give a realtor your buy box, they should be able to provide you exactly the properties you're looking for. What comes on this buy box are these things right here: price, beds, square footage, lot size, and the condition. So you're going to want to know the price point you're looking at. You're going to want to know how many beds you're looking for. For me, if I'm doing single family, it's a 4-bedroom plus. You want to know your square footage. You're going to want to know your lot size. You're going to want to know if it needs rehab or not. Now, when you're going into a market, here's the second thing you want to know as an investor. You need to do your research, right? Because if you don't do your research on the area, you can make the wrong decision when purchasing a property. Here's a few questions you want to ask yourself. Is the city or area growing? Are more people getting jobs in this area? Is the population growing? If it is, usually you're going to get more renters and at a higher demand. You want to know what's going on with the housing market. Are homes selling fast? Are they sitting on the market? Are prices going up or down? This helps you figure out if it's a good time to buy. And then last but not least, you want to check the rental market. What are people paying for in that area? This tell you if the rent will cover your mortgage and how much cash you'll have left over. How to analyze a market. You only need one website. It's called the U.S. State Census. This website will help you determine if an area is good for you. Why? Because it has everything. It has population data, job rate, crime rate, rental market, everything you can find here, right? It's going to tell you, is the population growing compared to other states, right? So if you're looking and you're saying, well, I want to buy, I have multiple options. I'm thinking about buying in different states. It'll tell you if it's a good area as far as population rise. It'll tell you if it's more jobs, more renters or buyers in that area, right? More jobs there are, the more renters and buyers there are going to be. Right now in Arizona, we build a lot of chip factories. So, excuse me. So if you're near a chip factory, a lot of people are coming here to work at those factories. You're going to make a lot of money off rental properties. Is the area a low crime rate? That's a key factor for a lot of people. If it's low, you're going to make more money. If it's higher, you're gonna have to deal with people coming in your property. You're gonna have to have more cameras. There's just so much more that comes with a higher crime rate area. I'm not saying it still might be a good buy depending on the numbers, right? But I always say low crime rate, the higher demand, safe for your investment. Rental market. Check rental prices, demand, and vacancy rates. Simple math. Compare average rent per room versus your mortgage, right? If the average rent per room in the area is 1,000 a month and you got 4 rooms and your PD is 2,500, you got 4,000 a month. For an example here, your PD is 2,500. You got 4 rooms rented at 850. You're gonna make 3,400 income. You're gonna profit 900 a month. That's just a single family home. You can use Zillow or other websites to find out this information. As you can see here, I went to Zillow and I looked up Phoenix, 1 bedroom, you're making almost 1,200 bucks in Phoenix. In Glendale, 12, almost 1,300. And in the other part of Phoenix, 1,000. So with that information, I would say, let me find somewhere in Glendale or Phoenix. Because now I'm gonna make a lot of money. Now let me ask you guys a question. How many of you here today now realize that getting into real estate is something that is not only possible, but is necessary to building wealth? You don't have to put it in the chat, just think about it. All it takes is one deal. That's it. One. I started with one. Like I told y'all, I got out, I was struggling. I was on drugs, I was doing all types of stuff. But all it took for one deal for me to turn my life around, and you guys can do the same. That one deal is going to bring you appreciation, cash flow, tax benefits, equity, and so much more. Now, my proven system will help you purchase your first cash flowing rental property. I guarantee you, I'll do 80% of the work for you. I'll minimize any risk involved because I've done this so many times. I'll fast track your success because you're working with somebody that's knowledgeable with the VA loan, but also knowledgeable in investing. But I have experience. There's certain things nobody can teach you. You just got to learn on the go. Now, I have a community, and in my community, we have weekly coaching, training calls, VA loan courses, access to private communities, investors, group trainings, strategy calls, etc., etc. You're going to get downloadable contract leases, ebooks, disability ratings, rating help increase, which a lot of you are here for. Some of you are here for. If you need disability rating increase help, we help you with that. If you need business formation help, we help you with that. You're going to get in my captain circle, you're going to get one-on-one coaching, custom deal findings, my personal network, my lenders, my tax consultants, my CPAs, my legal team, right? Priority deal reviews and offer breakdowns. I'm going to go over the deals with you to make sure it's a good deal for you, to make sure we understand the rental market before you buy, to make sure we did our homework and know that this area is a good market for you to purchase in. And of course, you need LLCs. If you're doing business and you don't have an LLC, you're working backwards. I'm going to show you how to do business formation, get you business funding with your LLC. I've gotten over $250,000 with business credit. I have the connections to get you there. Business structure, business investment strategies, and more. You're going to get lifetime access to Soldier to Soul, the Serve to Soul community, includes everything that comes with the general admission. You're going to get it done with you finding and funding the deal that you find. Right? You're going to get results in 90 days or your money back guaranteed. And I haven't even told you how much it costs to work with me. Here's my prices. I know you guys, I told you at the end, you're going to get something for free. But before we get to the free stuff, here's my prices. I'm not telling you that you got to sign up today, but I want you to know what it costs to work with me. Like I said, for the mission control, it's $500. You're going to get the VA loan one-on-one benefits, eligibility, entitlement. You're going to get all information about your benefits, how to increase your entitlement, house hacking strategies, co-living and Airbnb model strategies, how to stack your entitlement, scaling past your first home. So I'm a one-on-one work with you to get past your first home, right? Give you the strategy for it, right? Investor fundamental analyze deals, buy your buy box creation. You're gonna need help creating your buy box. You're going to get downloadables, VA lender checklist, rental cash flow calculator, lease templates, etc. If you want hand-in-hand combat, you need help, you want me to walk with you through this whole process, and you want to make sure by the end of this you get a guaranteed property that cash flows, the Captain Circle is for you, right? It's a 90-day done for you intensive mentorship. You get full VA to investor strategy. Whether you want to do multi-unit, Airbnb, group homes, whatever you want to do, you're going to have me working with you hand in hand to get the job done. Not only me, but my team. You're going to get deal reviews, acquisition support, creative funding connections, private chat, because it's not creative funding connections. It's not, as you heard us saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? This creative funding connections, you're going to get access to my funding sources. The people that gave me $250,000 for business funding are going to be the people that I give to you. People that I've worked with to do new development, building over 100 lots in Houston, you're going to get access to these type of communities. You're going to be in these type of circles, having these high level conversations, because if not, you'll feel like you're on the island by yourself. You always should have a mentor or a group of people that you can consult with when you're making high level decisions like this. You get a private chat access, templates, and contracts, right? Meaning you're going to have direct access to me, my cell number, et cetera, et cetera. Once again, you get access to my network, my realtors, my lenders, my funding sources, and my contractors. Now, here is if you scan this code right here, you're going to get a free strategy call session. Like I said, I'll give you a gift at the end. So you get a free strategy call session if you scan this code. And if that code doesn't work, here's my number. Just text served to 480-215-2715, and I'm going to give you a free strategy call. In this call, we're going to go over what type of strategy is going to work for you. This is no money involved. I'm going to literally give you exactly what you need to do. And if you don't need me to help, you can take the strategy and run with it. So text 480-215-2715, text served, SERVED. Text served to this number, and you're going to get a free strategy session. Now I'm going to stop sharing. And if anybody got any questions, go ahead and I'm going to open it up for questions. Oh, we had a few people fall off. Awesome stuff, Doc. I don't know who this is. Any questions? Any questions? Thanks, brother.
Good class, coach.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Well, if we don't have any questions, I'll be hosting another one the first Monday of every month. So next month, it'll be the first Monday of that month. I don't even know what day that is. But you guys are all in my CRM, so you're gonna get some messages as well. Ed, I know we're working on getting you a rating increase. I already plugged you in with Jessica, and she is a mastermind at getting your increase. So you definitely want to get in touch with her. Um, and then John, you already know you can hit me up anytime you need anything. And then James, my guy, he is he is also a money guy as well. He has a ton of resources, so you guys can connect with him. But also, if you need me, James, you know you got my line. Um, and then Zoom user, I'm not sure who this is, but if you need me, just text that number 480-215-2715. Let's see here.
Excellent. Love hearing it again, brother. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Talk to you a little bit
Did
later.
they, okay, cool. Did they stop this? No, they ain't stop this. You could do secondary claims. But yeah, give me a call. All right, so I'm gonna end the live. Y'all take it easy. Good night.